Hello, everyone, and welcome to the JollyGM RPG blog podcast, broadcast, vlog. I have no idea what you would call this. But the thing is, this is it's been a while now since I actually had an opportunity to do anything online with any of my gaming, with some real life situations going on outside of gaming and health reasons for family members. My activities online has been extremely limited, but family first at all times, so I had to help deal with that. So what I'm deciding to do now is, although I had several games planned in the last couple of weeks, all that kind of got shot to hell. I still wanted to at least do a small video on something, because why not? So I am now going to bring in, show you how I currently got my 2D20 Conan module set up for Fantasy Grounds, and I use that in conjunction with Morecore. So I am just going to, I'm going to run my intro, because I love my intro. I love that. I'm so proud of that. If anything I've ever done, it's that. Alright, so here's Fantasy Grounds, and I'm going to show you how I currently use templates. One of the reasons why I like using Morecore for just about most of my virtual tabletop role-playing games is because the lack of automations. And I find that, like, for example, don't get me wrong, I think the guys over at Smiteworks who've been working on the Savage Worlds module for Fantasy Grounds, fully automated, really, really well done. But to me, it got to the point where mostly everybody was depending too much for the automations to do it. And if you didn't know how to do it, or trying to explain to someone how to use the animations, it kind of got in the way of the game. One of the reasons why I like Morecore is because it allows you to play any system really that you want, and with minimal automations, and it doesn't get in the way. It's pretty simple. So first of all, I'm going to start with my NPCs. So I'm going to bring up my NPCs here. And what I got done, well, first of all, so far I've kind of put everything on a hold, but I got the first 4 books from the Modifius series set up and put into Fantasy Grounds, into this module. So it allows me to drag and drop and do a lot of things. And when I first started it, I did it with a different technique. And this is the old way here. And you get your size, you get your doom. My basic dice rolls are right here, which you can click on, and I keep track of all my stats inside the attacks bar. Mainly because if I was to drag this abomination to the combat tracker, when I go on to attacks, all his information is there for me, and allows me to modify it right from the combat tracker, and I do not need to go back into here. That was one of the main reasons for that. Now, I just had an idea. I'm just going to test it out. I'm going to go to... Okay, no big deal. But this was the old way. And down below here in the roles section, now if I go back to combat tracker, click on roles, all the role information is here as well. So everything shows up on the main character page without having to worry too much about going back and forth, and allows it to be a lot easier for tracking if you got a lot of NPCs and stuff. And you can make your roles directly from here. So that's that. But this is the old way of doing it. Now I made some slight changes to how my template is for NPCs. Because before, uh, like using this particular one right here, I got the dice strings right in that one section right there. Now I'm going to zoom in here. I'm going to make this a little zoomable. Source. All right. This should make it a little easier for anyone watching. So all the information I need is here, but for me, if I wanted to make dice rolls, it was a lot of bookkeeping in my head to do it. So, for example, say it was a willpower skill I needed to roll, and it's 12, and he has, let's just say this was a 1 here. So, it's really 13 and 1. For me to make dice rolls, I would have to say, okay, he's spending 4 dice. He's going to use 4 dice. He's got to get, 2 successes, and I'm looking for 13s and 1s. And it would just come up with numbers. So I wanted to minimize the amount of that. So what I did, I created a new template, and I'm going to go circle. Skeleton Guardian there. So now when I bring this one up, if you see, I got his combat rolls all there, and I got his attacks, and that information is there. And I think what I'm going to start doing, drag that up to there like that. So anyway, I put all my information in the roles section, and under combat roles, right here it tells me his combat is +3 to whatever the ability is, all right, or whatever skill would be. So now going forward, the way I got it working out is, say he's going to do an attack. So if I open it up, it tells me melee is an agility skill. All right, so his agility is 8, and he has a +3. So because of that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this to a 9, 10, 11, and it's a 3 right there. So now when he makes his combat roll, it's going to come up with, oh, I should do this right. Now when I do his combat roll, it's going to come up and it's going to say, all right, 2 successes, no complications, and it builds everything into it. It's no longer just a group of numbers like it was here. It's now a group of numbers. Yeah, like it's no longer just a group of numbers up there. So now it actually comes up. So what I do, I put all my stats, usable stats, rollable stats, in the roll section right here. And that way it allows me to, when I use the combat tracker, I can see everything right here. And if I want to use an ability, I can just click on the ability. Let's say I'm flinching, so if I open up on flinching, it can tells me what it is. So if I go to use the ability, I can just click on it, and it comes up and says this giant skeleton guardian is on flinching, or uses on flinching. The giant skeleton is immune to threat and attacks. So I got all the information there, and which allows me to keep track of things a little bit easier. So also, now what I've got done is, let me see. the other thing that I use it for damage rolls as well. And I'm going to bring up the damage section here. Bring up his... There we go. So what I do, in the title, I got the weapon, and I got all the information there. So when it rolls, whatever is in this section right here, whatever's there shows up in the chat window down here. So for example, if I go to use calcified sword, roll it, bang, it all comes up, and there it is right there. So by doing this, I can read the dice string, and I can, if you look at the dice string right here, it says it is reach 2, and it's 5 combat dice plus 3 for its strength, combat dice for damage. It's unbalanced, parry, knockdown, and it does plus 2 damage. Okay, so that allows me to put all the information in that I need right there. So it all comes up in the chat window. So it's very easy for everyone to read it. Everyone can see it, and it's a little bit easier. And again, I do keep track. I do use these right here, dice strings. I can use it for pretty much anything if I need to. I keep track of my vigor and my wounds, everything there. Soak, armor, and etc. Now I also have my effects, and if I go to my effects up here, I can drag them down to here, and it tells me that blindness effect, it's dazed, it's staggered, and yeah, so all the information I need is there. So see here, duration. So now if I go for my next round, bang, come back, all the effects are gone again. So if, say he's going to be dazed, and he's going to be dazed for 2 rounds, I'm going to go through 2 rounds now, and it will reduce itself. 1 now is down to 2. So again, this is how I use my NPCs in using Morecore. It's pretty simple, and it just allows me to keep track of multiple things a lot easier. So for example, I'm going to drag a couple more of these over. So again, that's the new template. So let's go to so this is turn 1. As you see, everything is named. So I will mark this guy off, go to so anyway, that's just how I do it. So I just wanted to show people how I use it, and this way here, as I track down through the individual abilities of each character, it all comes up there, and allows me to do it all from here, limiting the amount of times I got to go to the actual character sheet to use it. Anyway, I hope this helps somebody. It's just a short little video for anyone who's interested. Alright, and that's me, JollyGM, and again, sorry for my lack of presence in the last several weeks. It's been pretty hectic here at home, and just remember, if you have a chance to get a chance to be nice to someone, always take it. With that, I'll leave you guys alone. You guys have a good day. See you later.